Welcome to a campfire edition.
Fireside, KYD Fireside episode. First ever. And by how hot this is, it'll probably be our last one.
Last one, never again. No thank you.
I needed to put
Burning my face. Mark's like, we need another log, we need more lighting.
We need better lighting. Okay.
This is our top 10 of season 3 of where we visited.
There have been people that said, I'm gonna start keeping track of how many times you guys use the term top 10. Gosh, Whistler in our top 10, no question. Okay.
A lot of things are in our top 10.
I know, but we actually...
Are you allowed to have 20 things in your top 10?
I know. You wanna know the loophole? Top 10 per season.
Done!
As you can tell, we're back in Arizona, the beautiful Arizona. And Carson made us a nice little campfire here and it smells so good. So anyway, we went and looked at our entire route. And we picked out of the entire West Coast, including British Columbia, California, Oregon, all the way up, we picked our top 10 favorite locations. And we thought we would also include in those locations which RV parks we stayed at and give you a little glimpse of our route. So if anyone wants to follow our footsteps, you would know
where to go.
Our route and you would know some of our RV parks and stuff like that.
In the meantime, my face is melting.
This is done only in the order in which the route went. So, right out of the gates, Joshua Tree National Park. And there's some mutiny in this right now.
Mutiny in why it would be on our list.
I believe that Joshua Tree National Park is an absolute, I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's like a retreat. It's like remote. By the way, we stayed at Jumbo Rock Campground. There's a whole bunch of campgrounds there. There's like Indian Springs and there's all sorts of stuff, but it's a really dry camping, remote situation.
So we showed up and we were not prepared. That's what really happened. And there is no Wi-Fi. It is a big, dark, black hole. Think the Bermuda Triangle?
But
Joshua
no
Tree National Park, okay? You need to bring in your own supplies. We did not have solar at the time, so we literally ran out of battery. So I was making food in the dark by like the 13th hour, and that is not my favorite thing to do.
But if you're interested in kind of a retreat-esque place where you can sit up on top of the boulders and you can watch the sunset, it is arguably, in fact, I think it was in some magazine, is one of the like
the
top
best places
sunsets
in the world to watch
or
sunset.
something. So anyway, it's beautiful, it's serene, it's quiet, it's like a retreat, but it's right next door to LA.
This is my favorite part because I could make myself completely entertained in LA for weeks upon weeks, totally free. All the museums have free days.
Yeah.
Just the ridiculousness that is going on in LA alone, you can make a whole day of it just watching people. So Tori and I fully enjoyed LA, Beverly Hills, and what's Palm Springs right next door to Joshua Tree.
Okay, so number 2 on the list as we go up the coast is SLO, otherwise known as San Luis Obispo. We stayed at Pismo Coast Village RV Resort, fabulous RV resort right on the ocean. And it has tons of amenities.
They know what they're doing there.
They know what they're doing. They have like dozens and dozens of laundry machines and whatnot. It's fantastic.
Lots of activities for families, all kinds of stuff.
But I think SLO was the first time in season 3 where we really felt like, all right, things are starting to warm up because like we had the SLO Farmers Market, which is on Thursdays. Then we had like Firestone Grill in there, and then it's just a hot skip.
We went zip lining.
Well, then it was a hot skip and jump to Paso Robles. And in Paso Robles, we ended up staying at Wine Country RV Resort, and
beautiful
that is
vineyards.
like, I mean, I'm putting Paso Robles and SLO in together because if you're in the area, you should just do both. But the vineyards, that's when we bottled wine with Rio Seco.
That's where you can start visiting Harvest Hosts.
That's right.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, and so anyway, we were really kind of like that's where we really felt like, wow, okay, season 3 is really starting to be.
Oh, and
like,
then the
cool.
hills are so gorgeous, and you're driving through, the scenery is bar none. It's fabulous, and the hiking there is fantastic.
And by the way, I'm going to include links to every RV resort that we mentioned if you have access to, like, go check out their rates and availability and that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Drum roll, please.
Bend, Oregon.
Oh my gosh. Oregon was like nothing I had ever experienced.
I said this in the episodes, but I'm just going to repeat it again. Oregon, the roads are smooth, the people are nice, and the campgrounds are generally very reasonable. Is there anything better that you can ask as an RVer?
Oh my gosh, and then you have the gorge, you have the water,
you've got the coast, you've got the lighthouses, and then you can come in and you can go into like urban places like Grants Pass and Bend. Oregon has it all.
Yeah.
Oregon is fantastic.
Bend was my personal favorite in Oregon, but second runner-up was...
Well, and explain, because like the coast is absolutely fantastic, but...
Oh, yes, this is what you'll need to do when you're hitting Oregon. You're gonna have to make a big decision. You know, there's rights and lefts in your life, and there's forks, and you're like, where do I go? Okay, this is what's gonna happen when you get to Bend, because you'll be like, do I take the coastal route, or do I do the interior? And if you have enough time, do this.
Yeah.
But if you don't have enough time, you're gonna really have to make that decision for yourself. But we ended up, because we had done so much of the coastline in California, we thought, why don't we visit these cities just a little inward? And we were so pleasantly surprised.
But in order to do that, we ended up skipping out on Newport, which was kind of a bummer, and so there were some things you had to sacrifice. Okay, so anyway, when we were in Bend, we stayed at Scandia RV Park, which was personally one of my favorite RV parks. I thought the price was right. I thought it was really well run. Everyone was super friendly. But if you have like a big old coach, well, they accommodate big rigs. But anyway, Crown Villa is the other RV park in town,
which was a little pricier, but really fancy and nice.
It was like almost twice as expensive, and they didn't have availability anyway. But anyhow, so then the other thing in Bend is we visited Smith Rock, which you have to go out there in Smith Rock. Oh my gosh,
it reminded me of Zion, like a little baby Zion.
Well, it reminded us of like Prescott, Arizona, Prescott Valley, Arizona. And then you got the Deschutes River, you got breweries all over the place.
When you go shopping and they offer you a beer, I mean, come on. That's pretty cool. I don't even like beer, and that was pretty cool.
All right, so there is Bend. So let's go a little further up the coast, staying in Oregon, and hit number 4 on the list, Cannon Beach.
Cannon Beach. I mean, it's iconic, right? Because it's from the Goonies. There's Haystack Rock, but it is so beautiful. Kind of reminded us of like Kenny Bunkport meets West Coast, and
yeah, it did. It had that charming, is it not shutters, shingles? It had kind of a charming shingles feel to it, you know, almost,
Yeah, a great place to hit for 4th of July. You know, it comes alive. There's tons of people, and there's good RV parking.
There's great RV parking, so you can take your rig right into Cannon Beach. We ended up staying at Cannon Beach RV Resort. Awesome
People
resort.
book like the year before, and they
But we rolled in the night before on 4th of July weekend, and they let us.
We stayed in the overflow parking lot.
We stayed in the we dry camped in the check-in zone.
Yes.
And then we ended up getting a site for 2 or 3 days there.
Yeah, it was really great.
Some people stayed the entire summer there, and I remember it being kind of reasonable.
Reasonable, but that's why I say people come back, and families were like booked right next to each other. Kids everywhere.
We were there on 4th of July, and they were for free grilling hamburgers and hot dogs for everybody in the RV park. So crazy community feel to it. That was really cool. Okay, then now we're popping way up the coast.
Shoot yourself way up.
Number
now Washington,
5.
Don't think we gave you the cold shoulder, okay?
Yeah.
We only got to see Seattle and Washington. We were only there for a very short time.
Yeah, we didn't want to pick anything in Washington because we didn't feel like we gave anything. We're just
we
gonna
didn't
go
give
back.
Washington enough time.
But I know a lot of people are
They're gonna be like, hey, wait a minute.
And I don't blame you, because Washington is a beautiful state.
Yes.
But we're gonna pop on up. And number 5 on the list is Tofino.
Vancouver Island. Okay, Vancouver Island is a little pricey. You're going to have to take the ferry to get over. It's going to run you just below $500 if you're like us.
Round trip.
Round
trip.
trip.
Like $250 there, $250 on the way back.
So if you're able to do that to get yourself actually over there, then once you're there, stay for a while, because it's worth it. There's all kinds of cool things to do, Victoria. Yeah. But Tofino stood out to us.
Tofino stood out because we went surfing in Cox Bay, which was absolutely fantastic. We rented some wetsuits. We ended up staying at Long Beach RV Resort, which was very reasonable. It was like $30 a night. And it was a lot of fun because the boys ended up getting jobs at the golf course there.
Yes.
But if you're not interested in kind of like the Long Beach RV Resort is a little...
It's a little state parkish.
Yeah, it's a state parkish. So if you're looking for a really nice RV resort, and there are plenty of nice RV resorts
We went
in
and drove and tried to find some of them, because there was one in particular we wanted to stay at, and it is literally on the water. Yeah. Waves are crashing up on these big rocks. It's absolutely fantastic, but
definitely
way more expensive.
Check out, is it Tofino Taco?
I don't know.
Tofino Taco. I'm pretty sure it's Tofino Taco, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Really great food. The whole Vancouver area, but Vancouver Island is a foodie town.
Yeah. But anyway, Tofino was fantastic. Now, coming back over to Vancouver, we ended up taking the BC ferries, and there is a deal from Duke Point into like Point Roberts, and those aren't the actual port names, but it'll get you close enough. And if you go in the morning on certain days, you'll get you only get charged for like a portion of your rig. So we got charged for 25 feet, even though we were 50. So it was like only 245 instead of what it would have
been.
Would have been.
If you look at the seasons and you time your trip just right there where Vancouver Island, you know, kisses the coast of Vancouver, that's where the orca whales love to hang out. And we just missed them by like 2 weeks. So just taking the ferries over is like getting a free whale tour, because people said, oh, we saw a pod of like 40 whales. We're like, wow,
that's
are you kidding?
That's amazing. We really enjoyed our ferry ride back.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
It was really beautiful. So if we had seen whales on top of it, that would have been like mind-blowing.
Yeah, so we took the Washington ferries from Anacortes into Victoria and ended up staying at Oceanside RV Resort in Sydney. And then we ended up taking the BC ferries out of Nanaimo, and we went back over to Point Roberts. Okay, so, and actually I think the lighting is actually starting to work out. As the darker it gets, you want me to put another log on?
No.
Okay. All right, number 6 on the list, and I would say this takes 2 awards. It's in our top 10 of season 3.
Oh, number 6.
Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver.
But I would say also our favorite city in North America.
Oh, yeah, I mean, easily. It
Really?
was so amazing. Well, okay, my favorite city in America is New York City. I love New York. But there's something about Canada that is so clean and so modern, and the transportation is gorgeous, the city streets are gorgeous, the people are friendly. Like New York City with Central Park, they had their own park, which is what, Stanley Park?
Stanley Park.
Stanley Park. It will take your breath away. I mean, there are seaplanes coming in. You can ride your bike all the way around. There's rose gardens. I mean, it is so classy and beautiful. And then there were all kinds of places to eat. You can take a little ferry over to an island in the middle and you go to this farmer's market. I mean, just like the seaplanes. I could have stayed right there in Stanley Park for 2 days.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we stayed at Burnaby RV Park. I guess it was a little pricey.
Yes.
But it was the only park we'd ever been to that had like a full-on place to wash your rig, which I really liked.
It was very fun.
Yeah. Let's head a little bit further north and go to the first time on season 3 that we were like blown away. Blown
away. Now this is all very close together. We're talking about British Columbia. So once you can do Vancouver Island, you can do Vancouver, and 35 minutes up the road.
No, it was an hour and a half to Whistler.
Oh, it was an hour and a half. Okay, whoops. Hour and a half.
Felt like 35 minutes.
It felt so, well, as soon as you go around the bend and you see the gorgeous glacier water,
you're there.
You're like, I can't even believe is this real? Is this real? So anyway, so then you go around the bend, you're in Whistler, and it is so amazing. So where do we stay?
We stayed at Riverside Rv Park, which is our favorite RV park to date.
Oh, it was great, and it's tucked right next to Whistler Village. So,
it's fairly close to Whistler Village.
Well, all you have to do is get right on your bike and take your bike right into the village, which is the best because parking is crazy in the summertime.
Well, there's a really nice running path that goes around that whole area, and it goes through the River of Golden Dreams, which is where we canoed with Troy and Catherine.
Yes.
And then it has this other glacier river behind it, which is spectacular. And it's like glacier water. You can feel the cold air coming off of it. The park also has cabins, so if you want to like have kind of like a family reunion up there or something, you could stay there, and then other people can come in and stay in the lodge.
Come and visit with you.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool.
Yeah. But in terms of the glacier water, the high mountains, the fact that you can do peak, we did peak to peak, and that was absolutely spectacular.
And then if you're a mountain biker, insane. Totally insane.
Yeah. The downhill riding at Whistler is phenomenal.
And then you get down to the bottom. Just think of it as a ski resort, except it's for your bike. You can literally put your bike on a lift, go up, take this whole track down, which is so amazing. And then they have a place for you to shower off your bike.
Yeah.
And
then if you're feeling really adventurous and adrenaline seeking, you could do some bungee jumping like Tori and I did.
Amazing.
At Whistler Bungee. So,
yeah.
So Whistler was Whistler was #1 on our list, and still is like #1 in our heart.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it has that athletic side to it, you know, where you're really out, you're running, you're biking, you're hiking, like,
and we'll
that's
be back.
Right up
we'll
our
definitely
alley.
be back to Whistler.
But then
we went to Banff.
We went right down the road to Banff. And that is where our mouth not only dropped, but it just stayed open, like, the whole time.
Yeah, because you've got that glacier water, and you've got the height and the scale, but there's just something about Banff that is awe-inspiring.
Well, how about we start with the wildlife?
Yes.
We saw a caribou, we saw a black bear, We've seen eagles.
Oh my
we've
gosh,
seen,
yeah.
I mean, osprey. It was just one thing after the next. We were totally blown away.
Yeah, now in Banff, we ended up staying at Spring Creek, and Spring Creek RV was a fairly nice RV resort, but it was a little bit far away from Banff, so I don't know if we would stay there again. We were going there right when the fires were going on, and there were a lot of cancellations and reservations, and it was because it's the 150th year for the Canadian National Parks, so we were struggling to find reservations at all. We were happy just to get into Spring Creek, but I probably would stay a little bit closer to Banff if I were to do it again. Our only regret with Banff is that we didn't go up to Jasper.
I mean, you're so close. You've got to go up to Jasper.
You just can't fit everything in. Okay, so number 9 on the list. I think we need to put a little log on, Trish. See, our faces are getting dark.
Okay, here, let me get a small one.
Ah, there's some good lighting. There we go. Okay, number 9 on the list, Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe, what a gorgeous place. I mean, it's just heaven on earth. It's so beautiful.
You know, Lake Tahoe is a natural lake, and it's like, I can only imagine what natives, when they walked over a horizon and they saw that lake for the first time, what they
I would be like,
thought.
I'm not leaving. I'm staying.
Dibs. But anyway, Lake Tahoe is absolutely beautiful. We never mentioned in both of our episodes that we stayed at Coachland RV Park, which was a big oversight on my part because it is really a nice and well-run park.
It really was.
And
it was very
Coachland, so there's a lot of coaches there. I think everything is a pull-through. They also have a spot to wash your rig, and they even have seasonal rates, weekly and monthly rates. So we ended up taking advantage of a couple of weekly rates.
But it is in Truckee, so you're going to be a little bit further from the lake, and you can find like camping slash RVing closer into the lake, where you're not going to have hookups and things like that. But we were there for 2 weeks,
2.5 weeks.
We really wanted to have hookups.
We needed to have full hookups. We wanted to have internet. We wanted to have we had a lot of work to get done. But Trish is right. There's so many places that you can camp even on the lake. I don't know what the feet restriction is. But anyhow.
But you could be busy there every day, all day. You have the river, you have the lake, you have mountain biking, you have hiking. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's gorgeous.
And I'll link to our second episode where we kind of did a rundown of all the places to eat and all the things to do. We did that because we were unable to do everything, and I wanted to make sure if people went there, they knew all their options. They had an
itinerary. Yeah.
But Tahoe will blow you away. It is probably another awe-inspiring place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see a common theme though. Whenever there's water, we're like, ooh, I love this.
Yes. All right. So now number 10 on the list, and again, this was in order of our trip and not in order. But
yeah, so it was the order as we went up the coast, went around BC, and then dropped back down. So
yeah. So last on the list is Yosemite, another awe-inspiring natural place.
We've been to Yellowstone, Zion,
Grand Tetons.
We've been to so many wonderful national parks, but there is something about Yosemite that is unlike anything else.
Anytime you can visit a national park and feel this big, you're gonna feel like you're gonna be. There's inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah, and El Capitan is just amazing. Now, we were not there at the best time because we had fires going on, and so it was kind of smoky and we were running out of time. But we did manage to sneak in the Mist Trail, that video was just a couple weeks ago. So if you haven't seen that Mist Trail will blow you away. So if there's only one hike that you can do there and you want to do it in a day, pop up the Mist Trail. But
that is the biggest payoff for the shortest trip.
The reason we didn't mention where we stayed in Yosemite is because we actually didn't stay in Yosemite. We actually stayed in Levining, which was off which was off of the 395, and then we just decided to drive in to hit Yosemite in a day because we were kind of like on our way down from Lake Tahoe heading down to Vegas. So we kind of wanted to stay outside, but there are plenty of parks inside Yosemite for you to stay at. All right, so that is our top 10.
Top 10 of season 3.
Of season 3.
For you.
I don't even know what we would do if we had to pick a top 10 in North America.
We'd be sitting here for days.
But we'll do it at some point.
So I thought Banff was my favorite, but now we've like visited the whole Whistler thing.
Oh yeah, and it's like
re-energizing.
Well, you gotta make a decision.
I guess it would be Whistler.
Really?
Yeah. Because Banff was so gorgeous for all the just its raw beauty and Lake Louise, and then there was that gorgeous hotel.
Yeah.
And we got to have kind of a fancy day, and so I kind of got swept up in the moment. I don't know. I think Whistler is it because
you're just kind of revisiting all of those things you did.
I'm revisiting it right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
So you?
British Columbia.
British Columbia. Okay, so that is the wrap. That's the season 3 wrap with our top 10. Let us know if you have a top 10 or anything that you've loved on this route, because people love to look in the comments and see and learn, right?
Yep.
So anyway, thanks for hanging out with us and coming with us all the way up the West Coast. It was supposed to be like a 3-month trip. It was like
5 months.
Almost 5 months, and that's what happens because you just get inspired.
You just need more and more
and more.
You need more
and more and more. I love RV travel because you get to go slow and enjoy, and that's it.
And on season 4, we will definitely be including more on the RV parks where we stayed, and some upgrades that we want to make to Ginger because there's some repairs that she needs now. We definitely want to share some of the tips and the advice and some of the stuff that we learned from RVing. You know, knock on wood, not as many things is going wrong.
Knock on wood.
But there's still some things we need to upgrade. We've been going so hard for so long that literally, like, we haven't even had time to even address some of the improvements and some of the things that Ginger needs. So now that we're back in Arizona, we're gonna be doing some stuff like that.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's it for now. Hope you liked the video, and we will see you coming here this weekend with another video.
Good night. Do we have any marshmallows?
We have no marshmallows.
No marshmallows. Hot dogs? We need to roast something on here.
We have roasted something.
Yes. I have a frozen chicken. We can just roast that, just throw it on top. Potatoes.
Gosh, look at this backdrop.
It's gorgeous.
Wait, should we go like this for top 10? Top 10.
You're down low there.
All right, well,
all right, let's go see if it works.
The first half was in focus.